Today on Iron Toots Gaming, we're going to discuss the concept of scalable terrain, allowing the same terrain to fit in with different sized game pieces. Stick around. Welcome to Iron Toots Gaming. I'm your host, the Iron Toots. Today we're going to discuss the idea of modifying various terrain features to fit in with game pieces of various size categories. Trees to take cover behind, line of sight issues to overcome, critical buildings to fight over. Terrain makes the game more interesting. One of the great things about Toy Box Wars is that it can be played with game pieces of any size. The look of the game is enhanced with terrain pieces of the appropriate scale, or several scales, if you want to play games of multiple size categories. Or try to sell a game capable of supporting multiple size categories, as we are doing here at Iron Toots Gaming. Many pieces of terrain are useful at all scales, such as this rock, which to smaller game pieces just looks like a bigger rock. However, many pieces of terrain have features which only work for game pieces of a certain size. When used for game pieces of a different size, they can look out of place and a bit silly. For some game pieces, a handful of features end up specifying the scale of the piece of terrain. Take this castle, for example. As bricks can come in various shapes and sizes, the size of these bricks works for various scales. It's the battlements which specify it as a 35mm scale structure, allowing it to serve as a terrain piece for miniatures of that size. Used, however, as fortifications for 5.5-inch Masters of the Universe figures, and the fortification can seem lacking. However, if we swap in Krenels and Merlins of a more appropriate size, the fortifications no longer look so out of place. An additional advantage of the larger scale fortifications is that it allows us to make noticeable Machicolations, which some people on the internet will find very exciting.
Machicolations!
Told ya! Creating modular terrain in this fashion can be done in a variety of ways. For this castle structure here, we used magnets. The magnets attach to steel screws and nails embedded in the castle's structure. To change the castle's scale, remove the 35mm scale battlements. Add the Krenels. Then mount the 5.5-inch battlements on the Krenels. Swap the 35mm gate, the 5.5-inch door, and there you have it. A 35mm fortification becomes a 5.5-inch one. This technique works with more than just buildings. This simple footbridge works for 3.75-inch action figures. Swap the guardrails for a truss structure, and it becomes a terrain feature your 6mm micro armor tanks can fight over. This ladder marks this tower as scalable by these 3.75-inch soldiers, and this one by 1.5-inch troops. We know that some of you may be getting into Toy Box Wars after playing other strategy games, and may already have a collection of terrain for games of a certain scale. With luck, this video will spark ideas for recycling that terrain, making the prospect of branching into games of Toy Box Wars seem less intimidating. We hope you have enjoyed this video, demonstrating the ease of converting terrain for use in multiple size categories in games of Toy Box Wars. If any of the concepts presented in this video were unclear, please feel free to ask. Or if there are topics you'd like to see in a future video, feel free to make a request. If you're interested in picking up a copy of Toy Box Wars, it's for sale on IronTootsGaming.com, link in the description below. As you can see, Toy Box Wars offers you the freedom to play what you want, how you want, and in particular, amongst what you want. Thank you for joining us, and never stop playing.